Your little thing.
Oh my gosh, here we are again.
Oh,
Are we at 100 episodes yet?
no. That's going to be it, man.
Can we stop doing this dance?
There's a podcast called Between Two Slabs. They consume mass media. It seems so sad. It's the great curator and Merlin. They can't grow pubes, so they gotta wear a merkin. They got no money, so I guess they gotta share. Just two nerds wishing they could grow body hair. Comics, cards, and toys, nothing that would interest you. It's the podcast that nobody listens to.
Yeah.
Right.
What's up?
We are back. Finally,
That's right.
after a 2-week sabbatical, we are back. This is Between Two Slabs, the best podcast in the hobby that nobody listens to. Merlin, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. I've had a busy, productive holiday. Went to see Neil Young. Saw fireworks on my backyard. Saw some good movies. Caught up on my TV. Yeah, we saw a lot of comedies. We saw Joyride. You and your wife should go see it.
Joyride?
The Asian comedy, yeah. The Asian comedy.
Oh, because we're Asian?
Yes. Hey, trust me, I saw every white guy with his Asian girlfriend in the theater.
Oh, boy. Oh, what a stereotype.
Including me. I got dragged opening night, but also so no hard feelings. Saw what else came out? I know I saw it. I saw Spider-Man. Oh, and I saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh, that movie. I heard bad reviews about it.
I actually enjoyed it. It was a lot better than that one that came out 15 years ago with Shia LaBeouf. So I had low expectations, and you know what? I kind of enjoyed it.
All right. Well, good. Did you miss me at all?
I did. I told everyone this is the longest I've gone without, I think, speaking to you in like 2 years.
Right. Yeah, I went, well, 4th of July, that's where we took that first week off. Second week is I was actually in Canada. I didn't really tell many people about this until I was posting about it. But I went up to Calgary, Alberta, Canada it was part vacation, but also part deal. I met up with Vintage Lord Canada out there, a big supporter of our channel, and we did a deal for some original artwork, and we did some trades for some other things, but mainly I was picking up original G.I. Joe artwork. So that was like kind of
original G.I. Joe artwork. You're going from Star Wars now to G.I. Joe artwork.
Oh yeah. You know,
there is such a thing.
I like to go from place to place. Now I'm going over to original artwork, which is like my new interest now. So that's been pretty fun to get into. I've been posting about it on Instagram. So if you guys want to see the pieces that I got, you can check that out. But that was pretty cool. And then I took the family over to Banff National Park.
Banff National Park.
You ever heard of it?
No. Tell me more.
It is, I'm not exaggerating when I say that it is like heaven. It is like if you died and you went to heaven, that's what I imagine it to be like. That is Banff National Park. It is like being in a movie. It is so picturesque and beautiful. It's this little town in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Think like the Swiss Alps, you know, whatever stereotypical idea you have of the Swiss Alps, that's what it's like in Banff. Beautiful nature.
You're still in Canada, right?
No, I'm back home.
Oh, you're back home. In what part of the country are we talking about? Is this California?
No, Banff, Canada.
Oh, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's what it is.
You had me confused. No, Banff is in Canada.
Yes, it's this little town surrounded by mountains, and everything is beautiful. Everything is pristine, and the town is like it's like this perfect utopian society. I'm telling you, everything is clean, everything is orderly, amenities everywhere.
Bunch of hippies.
No homeless people. No, there's no hippies there. Like normal people. Hey,
hippies are normal, man.
No homeless people. No, crazy people committing crimes. None of that stuff. It's just like being in a movie almost. It's crazy, and I guess it's a popular tourist destination because it's like being in an international city. There were people from like England and Australia,
oh, really? Wow.
Asia, and South America and everywhere, right? All these different nationalities were in this place, and it was just a really cool place to be in. It was good to kind of get away from the city and kind of get away from everyday life and just kind of be tucked away in the mountains for a few days. Very, very
So
great.
you use the picking up the artwork as a way to like continue this vacation.
Right off, guys. Right off. Yes. So since I was in Canada, we went to Banff for a couple of days. I love it. We're already talking about like the next time we're going to go out there because we loved it so much. So I would
be able to purchase property there if you wanted to.
You actually cannot. So part of Banff, because they're situated inside a national forest, a national park of Canada, that they want to keep their footprint very small and keep it as pristine as possible. So you can't buy a second home there. You can't buy a vacation rental or anything like that. The only people that can live there are people that actually work there in the city.
Oh,
and it's all like a hospitality industry or people that work in the Parks Canada, which is their nature reserve or whatever. And if you want to retire there, you have to like work there for 5 years before you can retire. So they have very strict rules for residents there, but it is like 100% hospitality tourist town. And, as isolated and away from the big city as it was, I was surprised that I actually found a card shop there,
in Banff.
Yes, it was crazy. I posted about it on my Instagram, but this little tiny hole in the wall card shop in Banff that I found there inside a mall. And I walked in there and I talked to the owner. He said he's been there for 27 years.
Oh, wow.
He's pretty eccentric, but he basically was telling me, I do very well in this location. I'm like, what? How do you have like no? I mean, is there a local card community here? And he's like, no, all international. All international people come here and they want to buy my stuff because I have the most magic inventory in all of Canada. I have basically all the. I'm the only card shop within like 100 square miles. So all the international people come here. They see my shop. They come and they buy my stuff, and they pay full price because they come from different parts of the world where it's hard to get these items.
Okay.
He said he was like doing very well for himself, which surprised me, to be honest, but interesting to see. So that was a whole pretty cool experience. And now I'm back and I'm refreshed and I'm ready to start getting into national mode. The national is in 2 weeks.
I can't believe it.
It just seemed like we were there at Atlantic City yesterday, right? It just
and plus I feel like you just told like the viewers like last week we were 9 weeks away and now we're 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away, and I feel like this is hobby fate, but because we took a couple weeks off, we have perfectly timed it where our 100th episode of Between Two Slabs will be the week of the national. 100 consecutive episodes Between Two Slabs. So we can have a little fun countdown with that. So that's going to be really cool. I went to go back and I looked at our first episode.
Okay.
Like
from like 21.
Yeah, whatever it was. And we haven't really grown too much. It was kind of like, no, I'm just kidding. Our production value has gotten much better. But it's crazy to think that we are approaching 100 episodes. So we're going to have to think of a fun thing to do to celebrate that. Maybe I think we should do some type of giveaways. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm willing to send out to all the people that hang out with us every week. So definitely prepare for that, guys. We'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the show, but just real quick, some housekeeping issues. Real quick, guys, since Jordan Riker always complains about this, if you guys want us to address your comment in real time, you have to use a super chat sticker so that we can see it, and then we'll address your comment. If not, we'll try to get to your comment at the end of the show, like we usually do. And then Merlin, we need to take care of our contractual obligations here. So please, we're down to one sponsor left. Everybody left. So just one sponsor left. It is Veriswap. Thank God for Veriswap. Please tell everybody about this wonderful app.
All right. Veriswap's an app you can use on your smartphone. And you can download it. It's easy to create an account. It just takes minutes to create an account and to upload the photos for your cards. I could do it literally. It took less than 5 minutes. And this is a place where you can make those trades when some stranger hits you up on eBay or on Instagram and wants to trade with you. And you're like, dude, I don't trade with strangers. Tell them to go to Veriswap and they'll, whatever, validate it or whatever. It goes to them. They make sure you get the right card, both people, and everything's kosher. So you're not going to, get, a Tom Brady card and it comes to you and it ends up being a G.I. Joe card. They make sure you get that Tom Brady card. So check them out at Veriswap on Apple Store and Droid Store or whatever the other.
And remember, guys, currently Veriswap is doing a promotion.
That's right.
To crown the new champion, the King Swapper, the grand champion of making trades on Veriswap. They will win this title belt, which for some reason they thought it would be a good idea to send this to me first so that I could play around with it and show it off. But I'm having way too much fun with this. So if you want to take this championship from me, make as many trades as possible. You have until July 26th, and then they will pick whoever. I think there's two criteria. Number one is whoever gets the most trades, and number two, whoever has the highest dollar value of trades. And they're giving away this championship belt plus prize money. They posted it on their Instagram account, so go check that out. So if you guys want the bragging rights to be the King Swapper, first place grand champion,
look at that,
of Bearswap, you got to participate.
Purple and gold, man.
You have until July 26th to get this beauty. Okay, but until then, I am the interim champion. And I will
the interim champion,
yes,
the great curator,
the great trader.
I think it's working because I'm getting trade offers almost every single. I am getting them every day. The only thing is, folks, if it's one of you in here trying to trade with my cards, which are wrestling and non-sports, don't trade me baseball. I don't know anything about baseball. I don't know unless it's a mantle card or something, but no baseball.
I'll take vintage baseball, but I won't take modern.
Yeah, me too. But this is like, I don't know modern baseball.
A lot of baseball on that. And interesting things. I've been noticing other things on there, like wax. People are trading wax now.
Oh, that they can do wax now.
Type 1 photos. I think I saw some comic books up there. People are just putting all sorts of stuff on that app right now. So anyways, they are our sponsor. So if you guys want to support us, please support our sponsors. Download the Veriswap app. Use the link below for that so that they can track it from our podcast here. And then if you have a great experience about that, please send them a DM on Instagram. Let them know that you guys support them because you support Between Two Slabs, and that will let them know that their sponsorship dollars are going to the right place.
Yeah, you don't even have to trade. You can just buy in cash too, or do a trade cash, just like you do at a show.
Yes. Okay. So with that, let's get into our first topic about what's on our minds here.
What is on your minds, Dan? Now that you're back.
First of all, I'm gonna say this tonight. I'm feeling a little bit stressed. Spicy is not the right word.
Stressed.
A little bit stressed. A little bit upset.
Why would you be stressed? You just came back from vacation.
I know, but I missed out on an auction, and I'm so upset. You guys know that feeling where there's an auction ending, and you want it. You need to have this auction. You need to win this item. And for some reason, you get distracted. You miss out on it. And it goes for a price that you gladly would have paid for.
Yes.
And
it just happened to me because I was talking to the great curator.
Yes. So this happened to me because I was talking to somebody else later today. So I'm super upset about this. So upset that I have to pour myself a beer. And we're going to be drinking. So
wait, I never see you drink a beer.
That's how upset I am. So as this podcast goes on tonight, and as I start drinking this, I might get more and more spicy, depending on the topic.
Lord have mercy.
So with that, let's talk about what's on our mind here.
Okay.
The first topic to talk about here is, what do I have here? Let's talk about card loans. Okay, card loans are back in the hobby spotlight right now. So
now you need to explain to us, and especially me, what is a card loan?
So we talked about this several weeks ago. Remember, PWCC was offering loans on their cards?
Yeah, I remember when they were doing that.
You give them your card. they give you like 50% value as a loan, as a high.
It's almost like a pawn shop kind of thing.
Yes, high interest loan on the card. PWCC was doing this. They were giving this out
Right.
because they had all this investment money come into PWCC, so they had to find places to put it. They gave out all these loans. Then the card market fell more than they anticipated, and they had to call in the loans. People got in trouble. PWCC almost went bankrupt. They got acquired by Fanatics because of it, right? So all these things happened, and you think that people would have learned their lesson, right?
Uh-huh.
Like if you had a loan at that time and it got called in, you think you'd be like, okay, I shouldn't play this game, right? Or you think that businesses would learn that maybe you shouldn't be doing that with sports cards because the model doesn't really work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I've been seeing lately, and I'm not going to mention who I've been seeing it from because, I like the guy a lot. But I've been seeing posts about the alt marketplace. And what they've been doing is they've been basically trying to capture the customers from PWCC that had loans with them.
Okay.
And they've been advertising to basically give them a new loan on their cards if they bring their business from PWCC over to alt marketplace. And I don't know. I don't like that, to be honest, because I just feel like they didn't learn their lesson. I understand the fact that they're trying to capture those customers and they're trying to bring them over, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing that got PWCC in trouble, and I guarantee it will probably get alt in trouble also, because alt is a similar situation to PWCC in terms of it's a new marketplace that opened up. They have a set marketplace and they have weekly auctions and they have all this investment money that is funding them currently. But, if they go and they do the same things that PWCC did, what's to stop history from repeating itself? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like it's not a great practice. But I don't know. I don't know if it's working. I don't know if people are actually bringing their cards over and if they're actually taking these loans out. But
sounds dangerous to me.
That's what it is. It is dangerous to take loans on your cards for that purpose. And unless it's like a situation where you're at PWCC and you're in big trouble and you have no other option and you just want to it's basically like you have a maxed out credit card and you get another credit card to pay it off, but you still got to pay off that credit card, right? That's kind of like what it is. It's kind of like juggling.
Gosh.
And I just think that it's probably not a great matter of practice. You know what I mean? Because we're already have the hobby in the spotlight after that ESPN article about how the hobby is like very gambling focused and things like that. And now you have these options where basically you can take loans out on your cards and you get yourself in trouble, or over leveraged, I should say.
Yeah, way over leveraged.
So that's what I've been seeing lately. And, I don't care for it too much, to be honest. I think it should be a very select service. I think that with cards, like if you have a Mickey Mantle rookie card that's been appraised for $100,000 and you can take a line of credit on that card of 20%. Okay. I could see that working. Right. But with every other type of card, even if at 50% loan to value ratio, I still think that's pretty dangerous because of the way the hobby works with values is that one bad comp on a card could just kind of kill the market value on that, right? So I don't think it's a great matter of practice. I hope that they're not preying on individuals that don't understand the complexities of taking out a loan on a card like that. And I hope that they can position themselves in a place where they don't end up going bankrupt or get acquired or something like that, because I think that would just be a bad look for the hobby. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, so what happens then if you're unable to pay it? They just take the card?
I would assume
What's the worst of the worst?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm just going to speculate because I don't know the terms, but I would assume that they auction off the card.
Okay. And then that's it. But how about if that card doesn't? Well, hopefully it meets that loan amount.
Yeah. Well,
but if it doesn't, then what happens then?
You take a loss on it. Everybody takes a loss.
Okay. Gotcha.
But the whole idea about taking loans on your cards is that you don't want to sell your card. You can get the value of your card without having to sell your card. You just give control of that card to somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, in reality, if they want to call in the loan and you don't have the money to pay for it, they just sell your card anyways. So it's not a great matter of practice for an individual card. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm in real estate. So I know a lot about loans and leverage and doing all these things. I can see the value in it, the utility and value, but I just don't think that it works with cards because the price can fluctuate so much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if they had like a portfolio of cards, if they had 10 cards that were worth a certain amount of money, and you can take a small loan based off of a portfolio of cards, that would help mitigate some of the risk involved. But on individual cards, I just think it's too risky and it doesn't make sense. And I think the people that are playing this game, it's either going to be people that are really, really savvy and know how to play this game, or it's going to be people that don't know anything about taking loans or the responsibility of taking a loan, and they're going to lose their shirt. I think it's going to be one or the other. It's not going to be anything in between.
Just sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
When I first created an account with PWCC, I saw that option that they had, and I was like, I don't even want to look at that. I don't even want to look at it because
it's
I don't want to get there.
It's tempting, and I'll give you another.
I'm sure it is, yeah, but it's a lot of people who want to continue gambling. It's people who have gambling addictions.
I'll give you a real world example of how this plays out.
Lose your shirt.
Okay. So banks, you know how banks make money, right? Mm-hmm. They take your money and they loan it out to other people. That's how they make money.
Okay.
Right. And when times are tough, like when interest rates are very low, it's very easy for banks to loan out money because it's cheap. But when interest rates become go higher, like where they are now, the banks have to be very creative with their lending programs. They can't do the same programs that they did 3 years ago because it's too expensive for people to borrow money. Mm-hmm. So what they do is they come up with alternative programs, right? Alternative programs. They say, well, instead of a 30-year mortgage, maybe you can have a 45-year mortgage.
Wow.
They spread it out, right? So it seems like you're getting a better deal, but you're actually paying more money. Instead of doing what's another example I can use here? Instead of doing a 30-year fixed mortgage, you could have a 5-year fixed and then a variable rate after that. Things like that. They come up with all these crazy things, because I have lenders that call me all the time and they say, hey Dan, we have this new program. Are you interested in it? And I said, and just to keep myself updated on the market, I said, yeah, tell me about it. And they tell me these crazy things. Like it used to be standard. It used to be a standard where you get like a 5 to 7 year fixed rate mortgage, and then you get a variable rate after that. Now they're pitching me 3 years fixed rate, and then a variable after that. And then, like I told you before, they were pitching like 30 years before. Now they're doing like 45 years, things like that. And just all these different things. And the point is that the banks try to get creative with the programs to lure you in so that they earn your business, so that they get your business, they lure you in, but ultimately it benefits them. And I think that these marketplaces are doing the same thing because the marketplaces are so competitive. There's so many marketplaces now. Like I think I just saw like 2 other marketplaces pop up. Collectible app just opened a new marketplace that they're doing. And I feel like something like I don't know, some athlete opened a new marketplace. Peyton Manning or something like that opened a marketplace. But wow. There's all these marketplaces that are opening up where they sell fixed items and they sell auction items. And they're all trying to lure you in with different programs. No seller fees, free vaulting, card loans, all these things like that, right? And it just doesn't always work out, is what I'm saying, because because the way the market is so volatile that you can lure people in, but the program's probably not going to work the way that you think it is. And then the person that ends up getting screwed is the person that you took advantage of, the customer, the customer, right? So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that. Do you have anything to add before we move on?
No, I just don't want to get involved with that stuff.
It's
you
not
explained it pretty well, and that's it. I've learned about it.
It's not a safe bet unless you're at like the top level of the hobby, which very few people are. Like the 1% of the people at the hobby that have the most valuable cards, that have money to play with, all that stuff. The guys that are like Marshall Fogel, that old dude that has all those cards, right? He could take a loan on a card. He could put up his Mickey Mantle PSA 10. He could get a loan on that, and I think he would be just fine.
Okay.
But for the other 99% of the people like you and me, it's not a great program for us to be a part of. So
just sounds like a giant dirty snowball.
So if anybody has any questions about that and you want to talk more in private, feel free to DM me. I would be happy to talk about these things with anybody, who wants to learn more about that or pick my brain or anything like that. Any way I can help you guys, let me know about that stuff. But be careful when you talk to these salespeople, because they will tell you what they need to earn your business, but they might not always be looking out for your best interest. Okay, so let's move on. What else?
Well, everybody's learned about mortgages now. Thank you, Dan, the great curator, on the mortgage lesson.
Right.
What else we have next? What else, Dan, do you have to talk about?
I've got like 2 weeks of notes here. So what I do is whenever I get an idea during the week, I write it down for 2 notes here. And, I want to make sure that we get to everything here. Let's talk about some of these things I can't talk about yet. Let's talk about this. No, I can't talk about that either. Did we talk about the hobby board last year?
What?
I think we did, right? We talked about some guy was trying to propose like a hobby committee to regulate the hobby somehow. Do you remember talking about that?
Are you going to join this committee?
No, they wouldn't have me. I'd be too radical for them. I don't know. Oh, so just to get back. Okay, so now you kind of got me back on topic here. So part of that discussion, right, was trying to come up with like a code of conduct for the hobby and things like that. And actually, no, I can't talk about this. This is confidential. I can't talk about this yet. But let's just say this. I am working on a manuscript. Okay, I'm working on a manuscript that will address that issue about a code of conduct in the hobby.
Okay.
Still in its early stages of development, but I'm working on it. So I can't talk about it yet.
I can't wait till it's published.
Yes. One day. I feel like that's what we need. We need a book to kind of establish like a standard of practice for the hobby. And I see other people writing books. Like if you go on Amazon, you can see all these people that wrote books about like how to invest in the hobby and things like that. But they're very, I don't know. I just feel like there's not one really good book that can be like the Bible of collecting. And I feel like I need to write something like that. I want to write a book that gives all the basic points on how to get into collecting.
I would like that.
Collecting, how to act around other people, etiquette, code of conduct, what to look for, what auction size. I want to create a book like that. So I'm working on that right now, and we'll see if I have the mental fortitude to complete a project like that.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, okay.
I would like it.
All right. Let me see. What else do I want to talk about?
Okay.
Why don't you talk about the Hollywood show that you went to a couple weeks ago?
Actually, attended 2 shows during the holidays.
Let me just say this. So over a couple weeks ago, we went to a Hollywood autograph memorabilia show. I thought it was going to be more card focused, but it was basically strictly memorabilia. And I'll just
knew it would be that way. I knew it would be that way.
You set up as a vendor.
Yes.
I showed up for a few hours to hang out with you. I'll just give you my quick impressions, and then I want you to give a recap of everything.
That's okay. Go right ahead.
For me, I thought the show was how can I be nice about this? It was a very specific crowd of people.
Yes, it was.
Crowd of people that attended that show, and it was like it was not a great show for me. I did not enjoy it. I did not really like it. It's not my crowd. But what I learned from that is that basically there is a collector's community for everything out there. And specifically for this type of stuff, that community was there representing for sure. I saw a lot of people having a great time, but it's just not the same type of crowd that we're used to. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about it?
Yeah, I had low expectations. I just went just for the experience and see what it was about. I kind of knew it would be a lot of memorabilia and then also signings. It felt like it was in a basement, but it wasn't. It was the same place where the Burbank Card Show was, but somehow it just felt like I was still in a basement. All the hot actresses I had the hots for back in the 80s, they had the posters, what they, looked like. Let me just say they did not look like that anymore at all. It was kind of, there was a few ladies that had a lot extreme Botox. And someone even told me that one actress, I didn't even know who she was. And, I know films. I'm a film nerd. I know even character actors. I did not know who this woman was. And someone said she was on Dr. Phil when plastic surgery goes bad episode. And I was like, damn, that's a shame. It was interesting people, to say the least. It wasn't even like the WrestleCon where we saw like the big, the A-list wrestling stars who were there. This wasn't even D-list. This was like EF list. Except for William Shatner and who played Chekhov? Koenig or whatever was his name.
I'm not sure. I know who you're talking about. I just don't know.
And Marla Gibbs and Martha Reeves. But they're all like 90 years old. All of them were. And they looked the best. There was people in their 60s, 70s who did not look like these people in the 90s.
So here's my takeaway from this. Okay, basically what he's saying, guys, is that this convention for autograph memorabilia was for like really old people, right? It was like actors from the 70s and 80s and their fans, which are old people now. So like I think there wasn't many young people there. The average age of most people in there were probably like 60 plus. Anyways.
So I was a young in there.
Here's my observation. If you're the dude that's putting together this show, right? Or if you're in the community and you make, I doubt there's anybody that makes actual social media content about that stuff. But like if you're a part of that community, you have to notice that it's an older demographic that's eventually going to age out, right? So if you're collecting these type of items, what do you do to refresh the collector base, right? And I think that we can learn about that from cards, because cards used to be like that too. In the 90s, 2000s, and then 2000 teens, the demographic in the hobby was much older, right? You mentioned, I remember you mentioned that you went to a national a few years ago before the pandemic boom.
That's right.
And you said it was like old people, right?
Bunch of older white men. It wasn't much diversity whatsoever.
And then now because of this pandemic boom, we had all these young people come into the hobby, which I think is a great thing to happen, right? People in their 20s, 30s that are coming in and they breathe new life into the hobby. But because that happens, there's conflict between the old people that want things to stay the same versus the new people that want to come in and improve things. And there's always going to be like that conflict there in terms of the two demographics. I am part of the crowd where I feel like progress is good. for anything, right?
That's right.
So I like the fact that new people come in. I like the fact that technology comes in and it changes how we value items and it changes how we transact and things like that. So I'm all about that. But I know that there are other people there that just want things to stay the same, and they don't want to change anything. But
No.
I just think when I look at when I went to that show and I look at all these people there, and I walked around, I looked at how they priced their items, I look at what items they had, and I just think to myself, okay, you know, if you don't accept change, if you don't try to improve how the community is or how you guys transact and do business, all these things that you value is eventually it's not sustainable, because people are going to die out. People are going to age out of the collectible space. And, you know, it's going to be like, I don't know. It's not going to last very long. Right. So that was my biggest takeaway from watching that show is I look at that and I think to myself, okay, how can we avoid being like that? How can we breathe new life into something else? And then we're about to go to the national in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure it's going to be like it was last year, if not better. So that's like that's a great. It gives me a lot of perspective in terms of the things that I want to collect, the communities I want to be a part of, and as a content creator within the card hobby space, it gives me perspective on how we should market ourselves, the type of content we should make, who we should be trying to appeal to, and things like that. You have any thoughts?
Yeah, it's just a lot of different. This is what I would expect if I was like in some small town in North Carolina, Tennessee, that this kind of convention would show up, not in the middle of LA, where I feel like you get a lot better stars. You at least get B and C and D list.
And you know what pissed me off about that show?
What was that?
I paid $30 to get a ticket to get in.
Yeah, it was hell of expensive, man. And it was never that packed because, you know, we did the Burbank card show. Yeah, that was last year at the same venue, and it was elbow to elbow. Yeah. There were no lines to get autographs at this one except for Shatner's.
Yeah. I would be very worried if I was a dealer in that space and I had all this inventory, because people had a lot of stuff. They had movie posters,
yes,
autographs, and things like that. And I would be very worried about like
photos, postcards,
about that kind of
scripts, everything.
Yeah, seeing that kind of crowd there. But
the only thing I kind of sold there, like slabbed, I sold a rookie 91 of Garth Brooks, PSA 9. And I sold a bunch of the Pixar cards. Those were a huge hit. Just, you know, for like $1 people were buying those left and right. And then those, like you have, those Prism vendor stickers. Those were really popular.
Oh, so you were like the only guy that's selling cards there.
Yes.
Very
so cool. Nobody even knew. These people didn't even know what a graded slab was. They'd never seen it in their life. Everybody was asking me questions about it. I had to explain. So the biggest takeaway here, guys, is basically with any type of hobby, it has to evolve. It cannot stay the same. And I've had arguments with people in comment sections and things like that, where they just want things to stay the same. And I understand that selfishly, you know, in terms of self-interest, you want things to stay the same. You don't want things to change. You enjoy whatever you enjoy. But in terms of a bigger picture, you have to understand that there has to be evolution, especially in a hobby, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of things that we collect, pricing, how we transact, how we deal with each other, social media, all mm-hmm. that stuff. And I think the card hobby is a great example of that. Card hobby, comic hobby, we're seeing that. And probably, you know, I hope that other type of collectible spaces like coins, currency, memorabilia, I hope mm-hmm. that they can kind of see that and kind of adapt it and you know evolve with the way that things are. Nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, and then Donald and I, we did the Burbank card show. I mean, not the Burbank card show, card stock trading show. Chris is back on doing the shows again. Wait, that show happened already? It did. It was Saturday. That's how I knew you were in Canada, because everybody was telling me, and then everybody came in. Some of our viewers even showed up for the
Tell me about
Hollywood show because we talked about it.
How was
they came to see us?
I didn't see any social media content about that. What?
It was pretty good. It was nice setup. It was over near the Van Nuys Airport at this hotel, but there wasn't as much foot traffic as I would have liked, and it just felt like more dealers than buyers.
Did you make any good deals? Did you make money?
I was hoping to buy things. I never really get a chance to buy anything. I sold Ice Cube rookie PSA 10 card from 91. And believe it or not, I brought a lot of those press photos I have and press kits, and I sold a lot of those. I sold 3 Taylor Swift headshots from Fearless from 2008. Those 3 of those sold pretty well. And then I sold a lot of the Star Wars press kits from 1977.
Okay, very cool.
And those sold well. And then I sold some other rock stuff. But yeah, that was pretty much a couple of cheap rock cards.
He's trying to restart that show. That show was actually pretty big when he was getting things together.
There was a lot of dealers at this one too. The thing was he had a lot of different rooms. There was too many rooms though.
Oh, really?
Okay. Mm-hmm. And he had a lot of drawings, raffles, and actually I won like $100 gift certificate or a card from Fanatics.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So would you recommend people to go to that show, the next one?
Yeah, go to it. Go check it out.
And
a lot of our viewers were actually there.
Very nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's going to have a different place, I think, August 5th. And then there's going to be one September. It looks like he's back to doing it every month again.
I got to say this. I'm like itching. I feel like, okay, so this year, basically, our strategy was to only go to like big shows like Dallas, the National, basically a show every 2 months. But I'm starting to get that itch where I feel like I need to get back on the road. I feel like we need to go out to the East Coast.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jordan was at the Nashville convention this weekend.
Yeah.
It's going on the same time.
I'd be interested. I would be interested.
I heard he was sick, but
I want to go to Chantilly and the Philly show.
Yeah, I saw a lot of posts, people doing Chantilly. It seems like a lot of people are there.
Yeah, and
we should.
Given my positive experience in Canada over the weekend, I might even go to another Canadian show, but not.
We can't go Toronto because people are waiting for us with spears, dude.
Not the Toronto show, okay? But maybe I heard they have one in like Edmonton or something like that. Edmonton, Canada. So maybe we do that. And the guy from the London card show keeps asking me to go out there. At some point, maybe we have to go to like London or something like that. But I feel like we need to get back on the road. So maybe after the National, there's Burbank the following month. But after that, aside from Dallas, our schedule is pretty wide open. So I don't know if you're up for it. Maybe we can go to like one.
Chantilly, Nashville. We go to Nashville, see my my people. That's where I was born, my birthplace.
Nashville?
Yeah, there's a statue of me there.
Oh, oh boy. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Anything you want to add before we get into your announcements and then mail days?
No, because I'm gonna talk about releases for the month, and then then mail day, and then we're gonna have comments.
Go ahead.
So, all right, guys, this is the July 23 releases out today. Isn't it July the 12th right now? I think it is. I don't even know what days it's anymore. The 23 Topps Chrome Sapphire Star Wars Return of the Jedi is out today. Did you get a case of that, Dan?
Sapphire?
Oh. Return of the Jedi, dude. That's going to be Jabba the Hutt's rookie card.
I've been like in my own zone, to be honest.
I can imagine. You didn't see any in Banff, Canada?
No, didn't see any.
But it came out today, so I don't know who else got some of that. It should be fire. I never even got the Return or Empire Strikes Back Sapphire. Did you?
No, it's too expensive.
It was? How much was it?
It's like $800 a box or something like that. Just came out.
Yeah, what's that? That's going to have Yoda and Boba Fett's rookie in it.
Yeah. I like the Sapphire, but this year's Sapphire doesn't look like last year's Sapphire.
Really?
It's different. So
I thought they just glitter what the borders look like from the original cards.
Yeah, it looks different.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. But you can see the checklist online now if you want to. Also, we have historic autographs History of Flight hobby box. These are people who are associated with flying. So we're talking about the Wright brothers, astronauts, Amelia Earhart. Who else? Lindbergh, right?
There's going to be people that are ripping that. I guarantee you there's going to be people that are ripping that box.
I think there's autographs in there. It's going to be relic cards in there, sketch cards even. Also, that's came out today. July 19th, we're going to have Marvel Beginnings Volume 1 trading cards from Upper Deck. Look for ultra rare one-of-one purple rainbow reality cards. A lot of rainbow illustration cards, effects cards. It's going to be a 180 card base set on that one. Also, July 26th, historic autographs of 1918, end of the Great War, which was World War One.
Well, you're getting deep into these.
We're getting deep into it. You know, you never know. These people want to get into it. You may have someone try to trade with you one of these World War One ones when we're at the National. But we will definitely see them there. It's going to have autographs of some famous World War One, maybe Franz Ferdinand autograph. Not the band, but the original person, Franz Ferdinand. That's who caused the war. Or they assassinated him, didn't they? Franz Ferdinand?
Yeah.
The Korea War One?
Archduke Francis Ferdinand.
Yes, that's correct, Dan. Thank you for my history lesson there. And Dan's favorite show, box of cards, is coming. I didn't even know they made this July 28th, season 5 of Outlander. Do you watch Outlander?
No, I do not.
Isn't that when the woman goes back in the time? And now she's like in this like
I thought
medieval
it was
world.
Scottish. It was said in like
Scottish, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's kind of like Highlander meets a soap opera.
Oh, okay.
I remember there was lots of nudity in it and sex.
Ooh, okay. Well, you have my attention now.
You see a nice man's behind in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, is mic on? Okay. Anyway, yes, but yeah, the woman is very beautiful too. Release date July 31st. We're gonna have Blizzard Entertainment Legacy Collection hobby box. Now, this is from Upper Deck. Now, you know Blizzard does those kind of like video game or is that what it is?
Yeah,
like competitions.
Right. Yeah.
I've never been to one of those. I always get emails for it though. But they're going to have a lot of cool inserts and sketch cards in that as well. And then last July 31st, Marvel Studios What If hobby box will be coming out. So if you watch the What If on Disney Plus or you're familiar with the comics, I guess they're going to do a lot of the What If scenarios in these cards.
Very cool.
And that's it for July.
Okay. All right. Shall we go to mail days?
Mail day. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I saw you did a PSA reveal today.
Yeah. Did you know about those cards, those Grolier cards? They're like educational ones?
No.
But the one of all of them that I wanted to have the PSA 10 on, I got the PSA 10 on. Because it was the most expensive Grolier card. Most of them just are like $5. This one cost me $250.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and then the grading cost me another $100. And that card, you can check it out on the video now, either on Instagram. I have it on TikTok. I have it on YouTube. It's at Merleworld Cards. So check it out. See, I have 5 cards or jumbo cards. I'm taking them to the National. So if you're interested, yes. Carlos already saw the video. Thank you, Carlos. Steve Jobs.
Speaking of that, guys, if anybody's going to be going to the National,
yes,
come see us. If you guys want to do some deals, let us know. We will do deals before the National starts so that the deals are already done, and we'll do the exchange there. So hit us up. I will be posting a lot of my inventory in the coming days that I'll be taking out to the National. So if you guys want to jump in on any of that stuff before we put it in the showcase, let us know. We will do deals before we get there.
Okay. Yes, we will. Maybe we should talk. Maybe we should do some giveaways or something while we're there. I don't know. You know,
we're going to be doing giveaways for our 100th episode. So
we are. Yes.
We'll do that. And I'll tell you this. I'll just tell you guys this right now. I'm making all these different grab packs because I've been ripping a lot of boxes. So I got tons of cards to give away. I'm going to be giving away grab packs to any kids that are there. So if you have your kids, bring them there. I'll give them Star Wars, Marvel, animal cards, MetaZoo, wrestling, all this stuff. Let me know. I will
Thanks for getting ready too.
I will be having that for all the kids. I'll be giving away cards to everybody. And if you don't have any kids, I'll be making grab packs, $5 or whatever. If you buy any of my cards, I'll give you free cards on top of that. It's just going to be a giveaway fest.
I love it. Should I do a giveaway where I give away Dan for dinner for a night?
Whoa. What else comes?
What do y'all guys think about that?
What else comes with that? What if we did like a between two slabs dinner? Like you had to buy a ticket to get this exclusive chance to basically sit down with us and let us bore you for a couple hours talking about hobby bullshit.
We should charge Jordan.
Yeah, I'm
or
sure.
Adrian.
What would you guys pay? Would you pay $10 to have dinner with us? Dinner not included though. Or to chat with us. Maybe we'll do that.
Oh yeah, sounds like a great idea. Now, do you have any mail days? Should I go first or what?
I have a lot. Let me just go real quick.
Okay.
Here. I have a lot of stuff, but I'm only going to show you a couple things that I brought back from Canada. I got too much stuff, to be honest. Just too much stuff, okay? But a couple of the fun things.
How'd you bring it back?
My bag. I'll show you.
Okay.
First of all, I'll show you this. I got a couple of these boxes, which I'm probably going to rip tonight for fun. This is
what?
Weiss Schwartz Avatar. Check that out. Let me get it focused right there.
What?
Do you know that you're probably not familiar with this TV
No,
show.
I'm the Airbender. Yeah, the last Airbender. Yes,
yeah,
I'm very familiar.
So these just came out like a month ago or something like that. Just recently, these came out. Weiss Schwartz, so you know that type of cards that they make, and they have the Avatar license now. So I got a few of these boxes. I'm going to be opening this, and if you know the show, then you might know this guy. So they come with the regular boxes, which we've seen.
Okay.
We've seen the Disney version of this and everything like that. They also come out with this like starter set. It's called a
that's cool.
Supply set. This is like the Cabbage guy, which is like this this meme figure that they have, meme character. It comes with exclusive packs here, an exclusive set, and it comes with exclusive card holders that have this picture of the Cabbage guy on the back. They're like penny sleeves, basically penny sleeves for your card. So I got some of these out there, so I'm going to be opening that. Excited to see what it is because I love that show. I love the Airbender show. And then I'll show off a little bit of my original art here. So this is how I brought it back. I just brought this portfolio with me. You know, it wasn't ideal to carry this around, but it's the only way that you can really do it. Okay. So this is probably one of my favorite pieces here. This is the Transformers color art piece here. It's just beautiful. You know, I'm getting I'm getting into original art, and I'll tell you this. I'm going to go on a rant about this in a second here, but I bought 5 pieces of original artwork, or 6 pieces, and they're all pretty amazing. Let me show you this. Let me show you one more piece here, and then I'm going to talk about this for a second here. So here's
cool. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is an ink art, and then this is a blue pencil sketch here. It's kind of hard to see that, but that's what it looks like.
Just anyway, sketch.
So I'll tell you my reasoning. This is my reasoning for getting into original artwork. What I've always preached about collecting is that you want to go for rarity, right? If you want your investments to hold value, or you want to stand out from the pack, you have to go for rarity. And it used to be that rarity meant, hard to pull cards. Insert.
Okay.
It used to be like 90s, like hard to pull cards. That was the rarity. Then it became numbered cards, manufactured rarity. Out of 100, that used to be a big thing, right? Then it went down to 50. Now it's down to 10. Now anything less than 10 is not that rare. And now one of ones are the chase for everybody. Then it became about, once you get the card, because they made so many different variations now it's about like who has the highest grade, the population report. Jeez. Right? And it used to be PSA 10s were the gold standard among all cards. But I have been noticing that there's been so many PSA 10s out there because people are grading so many cards. I think I forget who posted this. I think like Sports Card Investors posted something about like there's like over 300,000 graded cards for Prism, like 2019 Prism, Zion's year, or 1986 Flair. A ridiculous amount of graded cards, a ridiculous amount of PSA 10s, where the population report is not that rare anymore, right? So I think I actually saw this article. I think it's 1991 NBA hoops. They had like 60,000 Jordan PSA 10s were graded or something like that. Or like 60,000 total Jordans of that set were graded, but they highlighted one card, which is the black label, BGS black label, which they say is the most rare. So now,
I can imagine.
Now we are moving away from PSA 10s to black labels. Have you noticed that? All the people that have been grading these Disney cards or the White Swords cards or Pokemon cards, they're moving away from PSA 10 versions of these, and they're trying to get black labels because that's
right. Yeah, I've seen people crack PSA 10s and then send them to BGS to try to get that black label.
Yeah. So again, it's about like people are trying to differentiate themselves. They're trying to separate themselves from the pack by getting the rarest, most exclusive cards available. I mean, look what just happened with that Magic the Gathering 1-of-1 ring card, right?
The Lord of the Rings?
Yes. People want exclusive, rare items that nobody else can get, and they pay up for it. So that is why.
And someone claimed the bounty?
No, not yet. That is why I am moving to original artwork, because original artwork kind of checks a lot of those boxes. It's collectible. It's one-of-ones. It's desirable. Can't be replicated. And with original artwork, there is no standard of grading. There are no arbitrary companies that come out and say that they grade artwork. So everything, it doesn't matter if it has a bent corner or whatever it is, people still appreciate it for what it is, which is a piece of art. And I just see that as the next frontier of collectibles for rare items. I also think toys, high grade toys, are going to be a big thing, and I'm seeing big prices in toys lately. But again, toys is gonna suffer the same type of deal where eventually the populations on all of them are going to grow to the extent where people are going to try to find the exclusive one-of-one items of everything. So that's kind of like I've been getting into it.
Now, does the pop culture art world have like a grading company or a company that authenticates?
No. It's still very much the Wild West, to be honest. And here's another thing that I've noticed about that. As I've been talking to different original art collectors, I've been getting different opinions. It's very segmented in terms of like what people value, right? Mm-hmm. Some people value, like, based on my research so far, there's different types of original art. There's the graphite pencil sketch art, which is like a black pencil, mm-hmm. right? Then there's the one where they'll create a sketch of it, but they'll use a blue pencil. Okay.
Right.
The intention of the blue pencil is that they send it to the guy who puts ink on it, and mm-hmm. when they scan it, the blue pencil, you don't see it. Right. Then they have the guy that puts the ink on the pencil. And they have these different, some people value the ones that have ink on it. Some people value the pencil. Some people don't value the blue pencil at all. So there's these different types of opinions within the collector base. So it's still very much kind of like the Wild West. It's not standardized yet, mm-hmm. but it's still, I think it's a very unique space to be in because people pay up a lot for these. I've spent a lot of money on this original artwork. I've seen people spend a lot of money. So it's very interesting. And it's a challenge too to try to find artwork, the type of artwork that you want, right? If you're looking for a specific comic, it's very hard to find that stuff. Yeah. If you're looking for things that are relevant, it's very hard to find. So it's an interesting space to get into. I'm still learning about it. I still love cards. I still love toys and comic books. This is just another collectible item that I'm going to add to my portfolio.
Now, how'd you come across these that you just showed us?
Well, these ones specifically that I got in Canada, Vintage Lord Canada brokered the deal where he contacted me. He said that these items were in Canada. I just happened to be going there. So he brokered the deal for me. But I've been thinking about original artwork for a while because I've been going to the Comic-Cons. I've been going to San Diego Comic-Con, WonderCon, and every time I go to these, I look for comic books. Mm-hmm. But there's always a few original art dealers at these shows. And I would go by their tables. And I have vlogs about this. If you go look at my San Diego Comic-Con or my WonderCon vlogs, you'll see me when I go to these people's tables. They have all this artwork laid across the table. It looks like It looks like a mess, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just there's no emphasis on presentation at all. They just have all this artwork across their table in like portfolio binders, just like this, and people just go through it. You know, there's no emphasis on presentation at all. But they'll have these pages in there, and they go for thousands of dollars. Like you could open up one page, it could be $10,000. Open up another page, $30,000. Open up another page, $100,000. And they just have them sitting in these books, and they have like, you know, dozens of these books on their table. So I would notice this, and I'd be like, wait a second, this guy, I was doing the math in my head. This guy must have like over $1 million of original artwork sitting on this little 6-foot table, right? And I would kind of watch them a little bit, and I would kind of do research, and I would watch auctions on like Heritage and stuff like that. And they would go for big money, right? And I've met a couple other original art collectors that also are in the card space. So I've been kind of talking to them, picking their brains a little bit. And it's just a very interesting market that has captured my attention. And I think, you know, I like it. It's cool. It just checks all the boxes for me. So I've been kind of keeping an eye on it from afar, but now I'm kind of ready to jump into it and start spending some money because, again, I've noticed people are shifting away and trying to go towards more rare items. So to me, this is the next frontier of like rare items that people are going to chase.
Now we're going to keep it all. You just keep it in the books or what? Right now?
Yeah. So see, that's another thing. Like, just like cards, it's pretty efficient. You could keep like 30 pieces in a binder like this, right? Or for me, I like to frame things. I like to display. So I'm probably going to frame it and put it on my wall, things like that. But, you know, if you're talking about just like storage, you get one of these, you get a couple of these, you could store dozens of pieces of art and have a really, you know, valuable collection just in that book. So just like cards where you get your Xylem case, you store it in there.
Right.
Original artwork is pretty efficient. Unlike toys or comic books or anything else that takes up a lot of space, this is a pretty efficient collectible.
Yeah, I do the same thing with my concert posters.
Yeah.
I have the giant books, and I just slide them under the bed. I have like 3 of them.
The thing about that, though, I feel like they need to be displayed. You know, I
do.
I
Yeah, I need to, but I can only have so many. They're only allowed in certain areas of the house.
That is the problem that every collector faces.
Because, Dan, is your wife going to allow you to have those paintings in your bedroom?
In my bedroom, no.
Okay, no. There you go. So, well, I don't know where space you're going to have back there behind you.
I've been moving things around. I've been kind of getting rid of like other things, and I'm trying to clear a wall space. Okay, but
okay.
That's another topic that I think would be fun to kind of talk about at some point. We won't get too deep into it, but like this is the problem that every collector has in terms of running out of real estate. Everybody wants to display their stuff. Every collector wants to have a showroom like mine where they display your stuff. But even as much effort as I have put into this showroom, I've run out of space. I've run out of space already. I'm having to rearrange things constantly. So that is a problem that needs to be solved someday. How can a collector properly display his entire collection and have space to do that, right?
Right.
What do we need to do? Do we need to does somebody need to buy a warehouse and rent out cubicle space so that people can have their own, you know, display room? Like, how can we do it in a way that is efficient and serves our interests? If anybody can figure out that problem, I'm sure they'll make a lot of money on that. And digital collectibles is not the way to do it. Nobody wants digital collectibles. Everybody wants physical collectibles. So how can we display our stuff, have it somewhere where we can admire it, basically have a man cave for it without actually having to have the space? Okay. Anyways, go ahead. I think I lost track of everything. It's your turn.
Oh, good Lord. I don't even know what to say anymore. I lost
Mail
track.
day.
Oh, mail. Oh, God. That was your mail day. Sorry. I thought you still had some more. My bad.
I have one more thing I want to show off.
Okay, go ahead, dude. I could feel it, man. I could feel it.
Another item that I got in Canada from Vintage Lord Canada. I'm starting to get back into sketch cards. I'm starting to get back into Marvel, back into sketch cards.
Oh,
and
wow.
I picked up this beauty. Look
Psylocke.
at that. Psylocke. Can you see that?
Yep, it's beautiful.
Yeah, with the cherry
Very floral.
flowers and everything like that. So I've been buying some sketch cards recently. I think sketch cards are going to be a play also because, again, just like original artwork, some of these things are really, really detailed. Some of these artists are well known. So I think sketch cards are going to be played. Not all sketch cards, but like the really, really detailed ones. So I've been picking them up lately on eBay. So
Is that a popular artist or just a random artist?
it's Ray. I don't even know. Ray Rax? Ray
Okay.
Pax? I don't know the artist, to be honest, but I just think that the
You thought
level
it was really nice and detailed.
yeah, the level of detail in this it stands out to me. Psylocke is one
It
of my
is.
favorite.
There's even like little like studs. I don't know, the upper deck logo at the bottom right.
Yeah, that's Upper Deck.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. So, you're gonna see me start displaying some sketch cards pretty soon. I got some other really good ones coming in the mail soon.
Well, let's see here. Anyway, I'll start off with a card here because we still do collect cards. And what's probably one of my favorite cards to collect? Type of card, genre. See if Dan. Yes, Dan, dude, knows me too well, doesn't he? It is a Post Malone rookie from Topps Allen Ginter 2019. But what makes this one unique? Because Dan, you talked about low production, right? About value of cards, investing. It's a red back, and the red backs are hand numbered to 25, and this one is 22 of 25.
Very cool.
So I wanted that one. And I had sold, that was another thing. Actually, I sold my Post Malone cards that I've had. I was going to take to the National. I've already sold them all. And then, let's see here. I got a Type 1 photo. It's the Beatles from the rooftop thing. And I don't know if you saw the docuseries that was done by Peter Jackson on Disney Plus, but this is based on that one. The rooftop production from 1969 where they sung Get Back.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I got to grab something. Just continue. I got to grab.
And then actually I bought some sports. It is a Michael Jordan Type 1 or Type 3. This is actually a Type 3 photo. And this one is like we had talked before. If it's bigger than 8x10, they won't slab it. They'll just give you a COA like they do with an autograph. And that came on the back here. If everybody can see, it says Type 3. It says, photograph from South Florida, 90s, Michael Jordan. So, well, this does say 8x10, but for some reason, I don't know. They didn't slab it. So it could be 8.5x10. I have no clue as to why they didn't slab it. But I might have to get it back and slab it if they can. But there it is. They give you a little cert. I'll put it in front. I'll take it with me to Chicago. If it doesn't sell, I'll send it back to PSA and slab it, even though it takes 2 months, folks. Yeah, right? All that drinking and talking Dan did. He's pooping. Oh, look at this. I'm Mark the Collector. I have this Kevin Steen card. And I already had El Generico, and I had the Seth Rollins one. I forget what his name is, Ryan Black or whatever it was. But they wouldn't. Nobody would grade this card. PSA wouldn't grade it. Even CSG wouldn't grade it. But it's Kevin Steen. It was the only card that would not get graded. But I'll just put it in a case, one touch, and bring it with me to Chicago. Here it is. Dan's got his box. He's opening up as we speak right now. See the bubble wrap. It's live.
Opening.
Live opening, folks. Here it is.
Are you finished?
Yep.
Okay, so since you showed your Type 1 photo, sports related, I got this in the mail today. So I'll show this off. Very well packaged from another auction site. Okay. Where's the thing? I'll show you something.
Okay.
Just to add a little diversity, some people say that.
I love it.
Some people say that we're too one-dimensional with our stuff. See,
too one-dimensional.
Here's the thing. You got other podcasts out there, other hobby podcasts. I'm not going to mention their names, okay? But, they talk about, like, their one thing, right? They talk about sports cards or whatever they want to talk about. For us, we like to diversify. We like to talk about a little bit of everything here. Okay, it's not all Marvel. It's not all Star Wars.
Yeah, we go through our little, phases.
We are the
We do.
true collectors of the hobby. We collect a little bit of everything.
We do.
And we even do sports, okay? We do sports sometimes here. So here is a Type 1 photo.
Woo! Oh, you got it slabbed.
Yeah, actually, this is Type 3. Type 3 photo.
That's okay.
Do you know who this is?
Sandy Koufax?
Sandy Koufax. Look how beautiful this is in his pitching stride. He's about to throw a strike or something like that. Look how big that mound is. I never realized how high the pitching
Yeah,
mound
it looks really high than normal. I didn't know it was high either.
Beautiful photo, Type 3 photo from 1966 World Series game. Check that out. How cool is that?
I noticed that Sandy Koufax stuff has really taken off lately. Why has he become so popular in the memorabilia world?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say that I think people are speculating because he's old. Is he
still alive?
Yes, he's still alive.
Oh, wow.
He's very old. So I think people are just kind of, that's just how it is.
Okay.
People buy up.
Just like Willie Mays?
People buy up Willie Mays like they did with Bill Russell, like they did with all the guys. When the guys get old, they buy their stuff so that when they pass away, they can flip it real quick. But I've always been a big Sandy Koufax fan myself. I don't know, something about him. I just think that when I think of like vintage baseball, I think of guys like Sandy Koufax, Mickey Mantle, guys like that. But I'm a big fan of this. I saw it. I picked it up for a good deal.
Yeah, where'd you find it?
At Robert Edward Auctions.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been telling you this auction arbitrage thing, going to different websites.
So you bought it raw, or did you already buy it authenticated?
No, it was already authenticated, just like this.
Great.
Which I prefer to do, to be honest, because you never know what you're gonna get. Like you could buy a photo, think it's a Type 1, it could turn out to be a Type 3. Not that Type 3s are bad, but
if you only paid like $10 for it, it wouldn't be that bad. Maybe you did for this. I have no clue.
The grading fee on this itself is like $80 or something like that.
Yeah.
To get it
It costs $50 to grade and $30 to encapsulate.
So if you can get a really cool photo for like under $200, under $300, I think it's worth it, because Type 1 photos are still very much underrated, especially if they have like some kind of story on the back like this, a news article or whatever.
And they usually do.
Pretty cool. And then for people who don't know, Type 3 photos, correct me if I'm wrong, Merlin, but Type 3 photos are basically a Type 1 is made of the original negative within a 2-year period.
Within 2 months.
2 years. 2 years. 2 years. And then a Type 3
Okay, you're right. 2 years. Sorry.
Type 3 photo is made from a
reprint negative.
A reprint of the negative, but within 2 years of the negative being made.
The same way. It just came from the reprint negative.
Right. So this one, that's why it says 1966. It doesn't say like if it was like 1996, it wouldn't be. It would be like a Type 2 photo, I believe, or Type 4 photo.
And then of course the 2 and the 4s are after 2 years.
Yes. Yeah. So Type 2 would be made of the original negative after 2 years.
Correct.
Type 4 would be made of a copy of the negative after 2 years. Period.
That's correct.
So Type 1s and Type 3s, I think, are probably the most desirable.
Okay.
So check that out. Very cool. Very cool. And this will be at the National. I don't know if I want to give it up yet, but it will be at the National.
It's a beautiful photo.
Yeah. So okay, let's get I think we babbled for long enough. Let's get into
Babylon Sister.
Yeah. Oh, we already did mail days. Let's get into comments here, okay?
Love it. Let's do it. Have you been watching Secret Invasion?
I have. It's a great show.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it too. Maria gave up on it though after
Why?
3 episodes. I guess it's too like Andor. It's kind of too much slow burn for her. It's too like suspenseful. She likes more. She likes just go ahead to have the superhero fights and all that stuff. She just wants action immediately. If she doesn't get action, she falls asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, don't set me up for a joke on that one, Dan.
I respect her. I'm not going to say anything. All right, here we go. Let's get into it.
Carlos, Rise and Shine, Curator Army, and Merlin Maniacs. What's up, Carlos? Good to see you. Hope you had a wonderful 4th, brother. Carlos, welcome back. Dan, yes, he's back from Canada, folks. Andrew, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Andrew. Emmanuel, welcome back, guys. Mark the Collector, back in action. Happy Wednesday, people. Smash that like button. Thank you, Mark. Carlos got to catch the trend early to make that money. That's right.
That's what it is. That's what it's about, guys. When you see, I put a tweet. So like I signed up. If you guys haven't followed me, I signed up for Instagram's Threads, which is their version of Twitter. And
my dog's on Threads too, Dan.
I made this. Oh gosh, I made this. I wrote this tweet, or it's not a tweet. I wrote this thread a couple days ago where I talked about gold rush. Right, whenever there's a gold rush, people can make money selling supplies to like picks and shovels to the people trying to dig that gold. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever there's a gold rush, you don't necessarily want to jump in and try to buy that stuff, because if it's all about timing, and if you get in there at the wrong time, you're going to lose money. Think Marvel PMGs as a perfect example of that, right? You want to get in early. You don't want to get in while everybody else is getting in, because the window to make money is too small. So you have to look for alternative markets to get in early that are either undervalued or overlooked. And if you can get in there early and you know what to look for, then if you're just patient, then you'll have your moment where everything goes on. Think Marvel PMGs early, Star Wars, Galaxy Chrome, Superfractors, Type 1 photos, original artwork. What else? Wrestling cards, things like that. So
you never know what's next, man.
Yeah, you never know. You never know until it becomes really popular, but you want to kind of apply the principles that we always talk about in terms of rarity, relevance, availability, things like that. That will help you look for these alternative markets. And if you like the item, you get in there and you get in there cheap and you have it and you can enjoy it. And if it grows,
that's right,
grows in value, you can cash out and take your money. And if it doesn't grow in value, then at least you still have something that you enjoy. Okay?
And then it gets to a point where neither of us can afford it anymore.
I know that's always been something that we preach to you guys. So great comment there, Carlos.
Thank you, Carlos. What do we have next? Jordan, Mr. Riker, who went to Nashville this weekend. Merlin and Dan, are y'all going to Dallas? Nope. We're going to just get ready and get our inventory ready and together and priced for the National.
Yeah, but we'll be back. We'll be at the next Dallas show sometime.
Do you remember Ed? What's up, Ed? Evening, fellas from Houston. What's up, Ed? Good to hear from you, buddy. Papa Jim. Papa got those stickers. Papa Jim stickers. Hello, fellas. Hope you guys are well. Glad you're back from the north, Dan. Hope you had a blast. Hope you have a blast at the National. Jim, you got to come with us, brother. You got to come sometime.
Papa
let the wifey let you out.
He would love the National.
Oh, yes, because he knows everybody there pretty much already. Congrats on hitting that big 100. Thank you, Jim.
We're getting close. We're getting close. I think this is episode 98, right?
Yes.
98,
99 next week, and then we'll be doing the 100th live there.
Let us know if you guys have any ideas of how we can celebrate. Let us know, because I think we should do something special about it. Not many people get to 100 episodes. Okay, I dare you to name a handful of podcasts in the hobby that are out there that can claim that they've been to 100 episodes, that they made it to 100 episodes. It's very difficult to get on here every week and talk to each other about hobby related stuff, guys. It's a grind, especially if you're not getting a lot of views or you're not getting a lot of followers and things like that. It can be a grind. So I'm very proud of the accomplishment that we hit number 100. I think at some point we'll have to set a goal. Like, when are we going to end the show? Merlin, are we ever going to end the show? Are we going to get to like 200 and we call it quits? I don't know.
It's when we can't afford these cards and collectibles anymore.
Yeah. When we grow up and we go do adult stuff, maybe we'll end the show. But until that happens,
Dan's gonna cash out of everything you see behind him. The
I know, right?
Empty. That'll be the last show.
I know. I'm gonna get into I don't know. I'm gonna for people my age, I'm gonna get into smoking meats. I'm gonna become a barbecue pit master, and that's gonna be my new hobby. For the future. Now I'm going to give up all this.
Oh my goodness.
But anyways, so we're going to do something fun for you guys.
SM Fritz, Banff looking amazing, but that cover art you missed for a song. What is that cover art that you missed for a song, Dan? LOL.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
I guess he saw it on your Instagram post.
Mm-hmm.
That cover art. Did you have a comic book cover art or something?
Yeah, I bought 5 covers.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. Send a follow comment to that.
Mm-hmm. Ed, Dan, you got to loosen that squeaky wallet. Loosen it.
I spent a lot of money.
Well, he does. That's the squeakiest wallet I've ever heard.
I have spent a lot of money in the last couple of weeks. More money than I am comfortable admitting that I'm spending on this stuff right now, guys. But the way that I justified in my head is it is a investment piece for this. And I talked to my CPA on how I can kind of write some of these expenses off and things like that. So, we got that going, but I didn't spend a lot of money lately. So I'm hoping to the hobby gods that I can sell a lot of stuff at the National and try to recoup some of my cash reserves here. So if anybody's going to the National, come see us. I will be giving deals.
Ed, Fanatics is like the Borg, resistance is futile.
There are definitely, a lot of people are going to be complaining about Fanatics and all their moves, but again, it's progress, right? And if they invest money in the hobby and they do a lot of things to expand the community and expand the footprint, then I'm all for it. I'm okay.
SM Fritz, loans depend on the card, though. They could mitigate risk by only issuing loans on well-established cards in the hobby and loan for no more than 60% of current value.
I wouldn't even go 60%, to be honest. I would go like 20%. I think the only safe play for them is that because cards can go down 80% in value. There's examples of that. So I would only go like no more than 20% on that. And I think that mitigates the risk of the company. Plus it also kind of like it puts the person getting the loan in a position where they're not going to like necessarily lose their shirt. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. On something, unless they have like a really expensive card and they take 20% on that. But I think that with the card loans, I think that there should be like 20% and there should be like a ceiling, a cap of how much money you can take out. Like no more than $10,000.
Right.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Why not just sell the card?
Well, that's the thing is like they're trying to sell you the idea that you don't have to sell your cards. You can get the best of both worlds. You can keep your card and you can get the value that you can take the cash for it and you can go flip it and make your money back and all that stuff. But just remember, guys, that it is not easy to sell
gambling.
Cards. Yes, it is not easy to sell cards. I remember there was that guy, Eddie or something like that, CardFi or Investor Card, right? And that would be his sales pitch. No offense to that guy. I've met him a couple times. No offense to him personally, but I remember his sales pitch was don't sell your cards, get the value, take that money, flip it at a card show, pay yourself back, and just keep repeating yourself or something like that, right? And it's not easy to do that, guys. It's not easy to flip cards. Believe me, all right? It's not easy to sell cards. It's not easy to flip cards. So don't think there's really no easy money when it comes to kind of stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Carlos, I agree with Dan. Not a great idea to take loans on cards. Agree with SM Fritz. Should just sell it. Agree if you have the patience.
Yeah.
Don't get yourself in more debt. B, I don't know how to say your last name, buddy.
Or let's go home.
Okay. Makes sense at the portfolio level. Single cards are extremely risky.
Yeah, that's another way they could do it. I think if you built a portfolio of like at least 10 cards that are worth at least $20,000, then maybe you get 20% of that, something like that. I think that would be better for the companies involved.
Adrian, CV Sports Cards. What's up, guys? What's up, Adrian? Missed your brother. I hope I was going to see you at Card Stock Trading Show. I missed you. Where were you? SM Fritz, what about the share market where cards are treated like companies, offer stock, and you can invest in a share?
Oh my gosh. I knew somebody was going to ask this. Okay, I have strong opinions about this too. So he's talking about fractionalized cards, right? And you remember a couple years ago,
I've done that. Yes,
you were part of this, right?
Yes, I was.
So fractionalized collectibles.
I still kind of am. They transferred them over to public.
Fractionalized collectibles were like the thing, right? Everybody was saying, okay, you can get this card. LeBron James RPA will chop it into little bits for $20. You can own like 1% of this card or something like that, right? Some crazy. It just doesn't work for collectibles, right? You can't fractionalize every single card. You can't take this card and fractionalize it. This card is worth, like, let's just say, let me use it.
Okay, what were you going to say? What's it worth?
Let me use a better example for you.
Okay.
Give me something here. Hold on.
Because like I have a fractional share of a Charizard PSA 10.
Okay, here we go. This is my Boba Fett. I just got this back today.
Oh,
my
wow.
Boba Fett Super Fractor.
From this year?
Yeah.
Last year?
PSA 9, last year's Galaxy product. Okay. Let's just say I'm making this up, so don't freak out, watchdogs.
Yeah, right.
Let's just say this card is worth $10,000. Okay.
Okay.
And then we sell it to, what are some of those companies? Rally, all those other ones that do the fractionalized share stuff. They take it, they buy it they put it on there for $10,000, but then they'll sell fractional shares, and they artificially boost the value because they sell so many fractional shares to like $15,000 or $20,000, basically.
Okay.
They just making money up in thin air. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And it's kind of like cryptocurrency where people are just making up values, making up money out of thin air. And what they're doing is they're telling people, give me your real money, your real dollars in exchange for this made up currency or made up fractional share, and you'll get the same value back. You give me $20 or you give me $100 and I'll give you $100 worth of something that I just created out of thin air. And it artificially inflates the value of these cards. And I just don't think it works at all. And I think that's why a lot of those companies kind of, I don't know, we don't hear about them.
Golden. Now, I started off with Otis, and I guess they sold their app to public.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay, maybe for a very rare historical item, like I think somebody had like a Declaration of Independence at some point, right? So I could see
the real thing.
Yeah, I could see an item like the Declaration of Independence. I could see that being fractionalized. If you want to own a piece of it for whatever reason, I don't understand it, but if you want to own it for whatever reason, I could see how that works. But for most other collectibles that are not like have historical significance like that, it just doesn't work. And it's a bad idea to it. And it just kind of reminds me that we're at this weird time in society where people can make up things and they put a crazy value on it. Like I can own a bit. I can make up this app that you have on your phone that tells you how to collect, and it's worth $100 million, right? They just make up values. I can make up this cryptocurrency, and I just made it up yesterday, but it's already valued at over $100 a coin or something like that, right? People just love to make up these artificial items, or people love to make up value in things, and it's not sustainable. It's almost like, I don't want to use the word Ponzi scheme, but it's almost like you have to continue to bring people into the community to believe in it, to keep the value up. And if you can't keep doing that, then the value will eventually crash, right? And most of the time, the people that come into the community for these items, it's not that they believe in the item. It's not that they want to have a fractionalized piece of a collectible. It's that they're trying to flip it and make money. Same thing with NFTs, right? Same thing like that. People were buying these NFTs as like collectible art. They didn't care about the art at all. They just cared about flipping it, right? So just be careful about that kind of stuff. And then just one. No, I'm not going to say it. I was gonna go off on a tangent about something else, but I'm not going to say it. Okay, let's just.
Why not?
Okay, I'll say it. Since you twisted my arm about it.
Jeez.
Okay. Another thing that kind of bends my corner. Remember, we haven't had this segment in a while. What bends my corner?
Here we go with the business corner.
A lot of people that you see on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and YouTube and other places like that, not including me and Merlin. We're different. But
of course.
People that tend to give advice, right? They give advice because they want to sell a course to you on how to do something, like how to flip houses, how to trade cryptocurrency, how to sell sports cards, things like that. These guys that are quote unquote gurus, you notice one thing about a lot of these guys is that they're young, right? They're young. And you look at them, you don't necessarily think that they have the experience or the track record to back up what they're saying. But what they do very well is they understand social media. So they understand how to make content very well, where they can sound like they know what they're doing, right? They can.
And it looks like they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They look like they're doing, but they're not actually doing it. If they were actually doing it, then they wouldn't have time to be making social media.
So they're selling you snake oil.
Not snake oil, but they're just telling you how to do things, right?
Okay.
Because they probably researched it from somebody else, and they're just regurgitating the same things.
Gotcha.
And they're selling you a course, or they're selling you, they're trying to gain a social media following or things like that. So just be wary of those things. Whenever I see these things pop up on my feed, if it's like somebody that's really young, I just kind of swipe right over it, because you can't replace experience, right? You can't replace experience with success. And this kind of goes to what I was saying before, where a lot of people in this current age where everything is so digital and virtual, a lot of people it's very easy for people to make something, for it to get a crazy inflated value and then claim success for it. But few of these things are actually sustainable over time. And we've seen that. We've seen many examples of things that have a very high valuation, then they crash and whatever. So just be careful about that kind of stuff. When you see people trying to give you advice, unless they actually have a track record or they're seasoned in whatever market or industry that they're talking about, be very wary of that. Okay, let me plug in my computer. You can get to the next comment. Right?
I don't even know where it is, man. Let's see here. No, okay, I see it right here. Ed Ram, Merlin, what's your opinion on Brittany's fiasco? Poor thing. She went to go say hello to Victor Wembanyama, and his security guy flicked her arm, and she kind of hit herself. She claimed that that the security guy slapped her in the face, but it was actually her own hand that came back from the reflection of him, keeping her touching him. Yeah.
He probably doesn't know who Britney Spears is.
He did.
How old is he? 22, 23?
No, he's like 18, 19.
Okay, he's a kid. Okay.
Yeah, but he knows who she is, and they even knew who she was. But at the time when she came up, they didn't know who she was. Okay. Because it all happened pretty fast. You can see the video. And they actually went and apologized to her afterwards.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But it was Brittany's hand that came back and hit her in the face, not the security guy.
Poor girl. He
just put his arm up to block her from touching him.
They already shut him down. He played 2 games in Summer League, and they shut him down.
Dude, no, it traumatized him so much that he said he's not going to go out in public until the NBA starts.
Interesting.
True story.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see if he lives up to the hype.
Yeah. He's not a player.
I look at him and I just think that he's so skinny, he's going to get injured.
No, apparently he's the real deal, man.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay.
He's the real deal. We'll see. Michael, I bought the Ice Cube PSA 10 from you, Merlin. Thanks for the deal. Thank you, man. There you go. See, the guy bought the Ice Cube from me. Mark the Collector, thoughts on Money in the Bank? Oh, my God. It was lots of money in the fun pocket. I enjoyed it a lot, guys.
I thought it was great.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's especially the smaller pay-per-views, or the PLEs as they call them, have been the best this year with the WWE. I'm very impressed. And AEW's picked up a lot lately this summer as well. So we've got a lot of competition. They're all pushing each other, and wrestling is quality-wise is good on both ends.
Mm-hmm. One thing I'm going to complain about this, I won't get too deep in this, but one thing that really kills it for me when I see AEW stuff.
Mhm.
I think the referees are too much part of the show. The referees,
in AEW,
yeah, they're like
Yeah.
dramatic, you know. They show too much emotion, and it just like kills the moment for me when I see something like things that they do just don't make sense. And I don't have any examples that I can cite, but if you start paying attention to the refs and you start seeing this stuff,
I do it all the time.
Like, what are they doing? You know, it's like,
do you ever get caught up in doing that and wondering what the hell they're talking about or saying or what they're doing?
No, not what
like,
they're
why
saying.
are they doing that? Like, they always do this.
Yes, right.
You know, like, what do they count? Like, what happens if they count too much? I've never seen like a result from that or the effect.
I think the refs in AEW are just terrible. Like, they're too dramatic or something.
But they're pretty. Their faces are animated. I noticed.
Yeah, I don't like that. The ref should be neutral, right? Like I've seen matches where the ref goes, "Oh no," you know, like when they kick out of a 2 or something, like, "Oh no," or something like that. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be neutral. You know what I mean?
Well, they have that female ref feuding with Jeff Jarrett's wife in AEW too.
Whatever that is about. They do that. New Japan Wrestling, I think those refs suck also. They're just too passive.
Oh, they do the same thing or what?
They're just like, they don't even look like they care. They don't.
Oh, they're on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, so
okay.
WWE has the best referees.
Oh, man, he's so biased. Vintage Lord Canada, here he is. Evening, guys. What's up, buddy? Emmanuel, I'm a big fan of historical autographed products. See, there you go, Dan. Emmanuel, he's going to want to buy those boxes I announced today. And Glorious P, the best cards long-term for Ultra Modern will be the sets with low pops, not prisms.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. Here's another thing. Okay, man.
Well, one of one is a low pop. It's the only one of his existence, right?
I thought we were going to be early tonight, but I think we're going to go late. Okay,
dude, this is our first time back in 2 weeks.
People keep setting me off on these topics here. Okay, so first of all, I agree with that. I think that modern cards, the only play with modern cards are low numbered under 10 because there's just too many. There's just too many. Like the amount of cards that PSA is grading is astronomical for modern cards, like tens of thousands of these sets. So the only play is going to be 1-of-1s or under 10s or something like that. Okay. But here's the question that I was going to pose on my threads is that the problem with modern cards, and you could even say that this is the problem with the hobby in general.
Okay.
That we don't care about base cards. Base cards are junk. If you open a card, you see people opening packs, they don't look at the base cards. They go straight to the hits at the back, right?
Okay.
They take the base cards and they throw them away or they give them away, things like that. When I was young in the 90s, when I was a kid in the 90s and I collected, the base cards were the ones that we collected. We set build, right? And every card was cool and you collected it because in the 90s, the emphasis was on collecting. Now, in modern day, the emphasis is on value of the cards. And the only cards that have values are the numbered inserts, whatever, not the base cards.
Yeah.
So how do you make base card collecting cool again, right? How do you make set collecting cool again? All right. And I have an idea.
Okay.
Right. So Upper Deck, they have EPAC, Upper Deck EPAC. Part of their gimmick is that if you collect a certain set, if you collect a whole set, you can get an achievement card, which is an exclusive card, like a redemption, that you can only get if you build the set. And I remember, I don't like Upper Deck EPAC, to be honest, but I remember when I was doing it, people were messaging me trying to get my cards because they were trying to complete sets to get the EPAC achievement card.
Okay.
Right? Which you can get a physical card. So my idea, if you want to make set collecting cool again, and if you want to put value in the base cards, you give incentives for people to collect the sets, right? Like if you want to open up a whole Prism box, put together a 200 card Prism set, it's not going to be easy, but you put together a 200 card Prism set, you get a special insert, like a white sparkle numbered card or something like a achievement card, basically.
Yeah, but the only thing is DNA wise, how they know that it's not another set being repeated from someone else.
So here's my idea for that. I thought about that. I knew you were going to say that. Here's my plan. Here's my plan plan about that. Okay, you put together a set. Let's just say it's a 200 card Prism set. Put it together. You get the achievement. You must physically mail that set into Panini to redeem. That is your redemption. So you must physically mail that into Panini to redeem that card. Okay. And what Panini will do, they will recycle the cards, destroy them. So you take those base cards off the market, right? And you put the redemption in their hands. The redemption is valuable because it's rare. Plus, all the other sets out there become infinitely more rare because you're taking it off the market. And you just recycle those cards, right?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like this.
Right? So you're not going to get shenanigans where people redeem multiple sets, multiple achievements off of one set.
And it's still making people open packs trying to build that set.
Packs, right? And then you take the supply off the market, so everything maintains its rarity to an extent. And I think that idea will work, right? That's what they got to do. And if they do that, base cards become valuable again. Set collecting becomes cool again. And if you really wanted to get crazy with it, you could bring in PSA. And if PSA has a set registry, right? Which I've never used before, but they have
Me
it.
either.
You
I don't even know how to use it, be honest with you.
You could have people trying to grade, put together a PSA 10 set of a card or whatever, and that will add value to the base cards also. And you can get an achievement doing that.
Okay.
But basically the theme of it, the idea, the core principle of this idea is you have to make collecting cool again. And the way that you do that is you offer incentives for them. So anyways, so that's my $1 million idea. Panini Tops, if you're watching, you can take it. Just give me credit, please. Give me credit. Give me my own card. That's all I want. That's all I want. Okay.
Okay, who do we got? Let's do it. Andrew, cards don't have to be graded. Get it authentication, though, when it makes sense.
That's another thing. Okay. That's another thing. You're going to set me off, Andrew. Okay.
Oh, boy.
I posed this question on Threads, or I think Instagram, a couple weeks ago. For a 1-of-1, if you know you're not going to get a perfect 10, because we can all agree a 10 on a 1-of-1 adds a premium, right? But if you know you're not going to get a 10, it's going to be a 9 or an 8 or whatever, does it make sense just to slab it authentic versus having a numerical grade that could give the perception that, that it's less valuable, right? And a lot of people, there were mixed answers on this. Some people said it doesn't matter. Some people say always grade. Some people say never get it authenticated. But I was thinking about this because the Magic 1-of-1 ring, they graded it. But the reason that they graded it is because so many people were making fakes of that card already. That was like a thing. Like people were.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So they had to get it authenticated as soon as possible. And I was thinking that makes sense, right? A lot of cards, like the original idea of PSA was to authenticate cards, not to grade them. So with 1-of-1s, does the grade really matter? If you're not going to get a 10, does it really matter? I almost think that you should just get it authenticated.
Have you ever done that?
Sometimes. I mean, I didn't do it with this one. I graded this one because I was hoping to get a 10.
But you got a 9, which is good. Yeah. I mean, when would you just authenticate it? Like, would you take an 8 or just an authentication?
I mean, if there was a flaw in this, if there was a chip and I knew it was going to be like an 8, then I would just take it authentic.
So you would take an authentic over an 8, PSA 8.
Yes, I would. Because to me, I view this as the value is in the card itself, not the grade, because it's 1-of-1, right? It's 1-of-1. So the value is in the card itself, not the grade. So I just personally think like 1-of-1s, you can slab them authentic. If it's not going to be a 10, you can, and I've done it both ways, but I don't know. Something I've been thinking about lately.
Andrew, a lot of Panini Prism were graded during the COVID peak. It wasn't sustainable that a bowl card would be flipped for $100. You can find it now for a couple of dollars.
Right.
That's so true.
Remember
those days.
Remember, as good as times are, nothing can go up forever. I say that all the time. It's not sustainable for things to go up forever. There's always going to be a correction. There's always going to be a downturn. So you just have to understand that.
That was the hell of a time, though.
I know,
hell of a time.
Marvel PNG, hell of a time.
Vintage Lord Canada, Ray Racho. That's your sketch card artist.
Yes, thank you. Vintage Lord Canada, my new friend.
Ray Racho. Is he pretty popular?
I guess so. He must be good.
I mean, yeah, that's a nice detailed card. Tony, how can you identify a Type 1 photo by just looking at it? Most of the time, a Type 1 is going to have a piece of the clip of the newspaper of the article it's about. They write or they stamp who the photographer is. They put a date, usually write or stamp a date. And they will have the subject matter. There'll be a lot of writing on there. And sometimes it might not be at all, but most of the time it will be.
So sometimes they'll have like a little newspaper clip like that. They'll have the stamp of the publisher
where it was archived.
And then they'll have like a date, some type of date where they'll say when it was. So this one says the news library received October 7th, 1966. Then they even give the address. Then here it says United Press International, which is the publisher. And then here it says, it says Sandy on the mound, Los Angeles, Sandy Koufax, Los Angeles Dodgers, blah, blah, blah. This is what's in the newspaper. Okay. So you can look for that. But it's hard to tell, other than that, if it doesn't have any of this, it's really hard to tell. Unless
it is. Yeah. I don't know how they can tell with nothing. I mean, sometimes you can still see that stuff on the back and it can still be a Type 2, 3, or 4. It really can be.
Right.
But most of the time it's going to be a Type 1. Most of the time.
Yeah.
But just because you see all that stuff on the back does not guarantee you a Type 1. These professionals, I guess they know the generations of these Types 1 through 4 because they've got to. Because someone goes, oh, why don't you write that's a Type 1 or 2? I'm like, well, they would know I'd be lying. I mean, they can't be Type 1s.
Yeah.
They have to identify and be a professional of how to identify a Type 1 through 4. But like press kits, like the ones you get for like movies or artists, they look like headshots. Even headshots are a Type 1 through 4 photo, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw someone, Tony, he said Star Wars Type 1 photos, yes or no? Definitely yes. I would choose any type of Star Wars.
If you can find them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very difficult because a lot of them are press photos.
But like I said, the press photos I think are like Type 3 most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they are still a type photo. And I still think even though they're not Type 1, those Star Wars ones from 77 will definitely still be worth something down the road. Get them slabbed.
Yeah, everything can be a type photo. By the definition that PSA made, everything can be a type photo. But Type 1 is the most coveted, Type 3 next, and then I would say Type 2 and then Type 4.
Right, because that comes from the original negative that photographer took to publish that photo. And if you notice, most of the photos are going to be black and white because they were sent in for newspaper or publication. And they're also made from real film. Like you said, we're talking about negatives here. That's made from real film, whereas I guess they won't be able to do it for today's date because most of the time they're going to be digital photos. Rarely do they do a real photo anymore.
That's an interesting point to make too. Type 1 is almost like a dying. It's like it's a dying collectible because everything's digital now. So they don't make type photos anymore, right?
No, I mean they still can unless they really want to use a real. If the photographer chooses to use a real camera.
Like nobody would do that anymore. Everybody does everything digital now. So it's actually a very interesting collectible, kind of like original comic book also, because this is one thing I learned about that.
What's that?
Is that people used to like draw comics by hand, right? But now everything's done digitally.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I guess that's common sense, right?
Yeah. So even original artwork is evolving to the point where I think at some point it'll probably be phased out at some point. Same thing with Type 1 photos, which is why I just, I find it very interesting to collect that stuff because, again, rarity and relevance and,
Yeah, I guess same with animation too, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to see like cells anymore, are you?
I don't think so.
No, animated cells? No, because it's all done digitally.
Okay, so hopefully that answers your question, Tony. I saw you had a couple follow-ups here.
Yeah, PSA has a page where they talk about it some more, but they're basically saying the same thing we are. Matt Miller, what's up, fellas? Guessing you're not going to be in Dallas this week. Like we said, nope. Enjoy it, and we'll hope to see you at the National, dude. Yeah, because you are going to be at the National on Thursday through Saturday. What tables are y'all going to be at? Getting a bunch of autos at the lineup is amazing. I don't know exactly what the table number is. We'll tell y'all next week. I'll get the information, but we're going to be in the center back. I think last time it was in Chicago. I guess Mealy Pops and Car Collector 2 were back in that area. In the main area, in the back, in the center. Juan Perez. What's up, Juan? Isn't that what Frankensons did?
He's talking about my idea about like man caves, right, for people to rent. Yeah, but Frankensons is more retail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about. Imagine like what is it? Public storage facility, right?
Okay.
Like people have the little lockers at public storage.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had a facility like that where people could set up the storage room to be like their man cave. People would just hang out. I think it'd be really cool.
Oh, Lord. I'm sure people do it here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Or they have those cages where they keep people in like you. Did you ever see you?
No.
The show where he has that glass cage. I don't know how he can afford something like that. Juan Perez, a lot of snake oil salesmen 2 years ago during the boom period. I'm sure.
Everybody can claim to be an expert, but unless you can back it up, right? You just got to be wary about those guys. That's what I'm saying. Even now in the hobby, like you see a lot of people that claim to be experts or watchdogs or whatever, but it's like, dude, if you're not part of the hobby, if you don't do the kind of stuff that we do, if you don't go to shows, if you don't buy collectibles, if you don't post your stuff, you ain't spending money, if you're not doing transactions, it's like, what are you doing except just talking, right? And anybody can talk, but not many people can do.
Who do we have next? Joe Champagne. What's up, buddy? Show 100 on 2 weeks. Top 100 pop culture, Marvel, and other collectible items in the hobby. Love it.
He wants to do a 100 item countdown, huh? Interesting. Okay.
Whew. That's a lot of work to do. We may have to do that when we get back from the national convention because we're going to be doing this at the national convention live the day when we're there. Tony, I think AEW is coming out with wrestling PMGs. Yes. But they're not going to probably be out till the end of August now. They keep pushing it every single month. It's driving me insane because I want the AEW Metal Universe. Juan Perez, not Red Shoes from NJPW. Is Red Shoes one of the refs?
Yeah, he's the guy from New Japan Wrestling, and he sucks. He
knows his wrestling.
He just looks like he doesn't care at all.
Juan and I were talking each other's ears off this weekend about wrestling. Carlos, number of cards under 10 is where the money's at. That's why Dan only does that now. Or also case hit type cards, right? Like Kabooms or what do you call them? The Color Blast. Are those pretty popular too?
Color Blast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
so. They're not numbered.
No, but they're short prints.
Yeah, or like the zebra or the elephants.
Yeah.
Cards like that or tiger stripes. Mr. TD, it's crazy people grade $15 cards.
I would grade cards like I would grade a $15 card if it was part of a set because I like to have my cards slabbed. And I'll give you an example here. Okay. This card right here. I got this from Vintage Lord Canada. This card you probably buy for like $1, $5 or something like that. It's a 1995 Marvel Metal Silver Surfer, but it's kind of cool because he's got like the Infinity Gauntlet right there, Thanos in there. You could buy this card raw for like $5, probably less than that,
But isn't like a lot of cards do that, Dan? Especially say since you're showing the Silver Surfer, like the Impel Marvel cards. If it comes like a back of PSA 9. You can only sell for about $30, but if it comes back at PSA 10, like a Spider-Man or something, it's $1,000 card all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, there is
huge,
there's a premium value added on top of that. But if you just want to grade the card just to have it encapsulated, I don't see anything wrong with that.
No. Mark the Collector, love the redemption idea, Dan. Trading a set for like a special lucky sparkle pack. That's correct, Mark.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they gotta make these. They gotta put value into these base cards. Otherwise, it's like nobody cares about it anymore. Which is sad because I walk, when I'm at a Dallas card show and I walk and at the end of the show I walk and I see people just put tons of like base cards on their table because they were ripping packs. They don't want the base cards. They just leave it there, right? That just seems like such a waste to me. So put some type of incentives for people to collect, and then after they get that achievement, take it off the market, destroy the cards, recycle the paper or whatever.
It's like, why do they even have the base cards? Just put like 2 or 3 of those of the numbered or rare cards in there and pay more. Juan, have you seen any early type Lucha photos like Santo, Blue Demon, Dr. Wagner? They could exist because it's that era. So they also did movies, these guys. We talked about that one, that a lot of the masked wrestlers in Mexico were also actors.
I've been looking for type 1 wrestling photos. Very difficult.
They are very difficult. Tony, I found a signed Han Solo type 1. Whoa. I think I saw that one, Tony. You should get it. Tony, a 1977 Star Wars PSA 10 or a 1983 All-Stars Wrestling BGS 9.5 Ric Flair. Oh, damn. What do you think, buddy?
Star Wars PSA 10, I assume he's talking about
the set or the Luke Skywalker?
Luke Skywalker. If it's Luke Skywalker, hands down. No, not even a question. Luke Skywalker, that's like $100,000 card.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, in a PSA 10.
And what's a BGS 9.5 Ric Flair? 50?
No.
Not even that?
20?
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think that does exist. There are PSA 10s versions for Ric Flair too.
Oh, geez.
Hogan would be different because Hogan's much more rare. Speaking of
it is?
I just acquired one. So when it gets me, I'll show you guys that pretty soon. I'll show you what grade it is, okay? But hands down, 1990, if it's Luke Skywalker #1, hands down that one.
Hands down. There you go, Tony. Whoa, and we lost Dan. Dan, where are you, buddy? Oh my God. Here he comes. Here he comes to save the day.
Sorry, guys. I don't know. I got kicked out there. All right. We're almost done. Last one here.
You're hilarious, man. Jose, good evening. Nice to see you guys again at the National. With you going to be live on YouTube? Yes, we will be live on YouTube almost all the time.
Yeah, we'll be doing our 100th show on that Tuesday or Monday. I don't know. We got to figure it out. Plus, we'll be doing live shows. As long as we can get an internet connection, we'll be doing the live show for you guys. Okay, so that wraps up everything. We're just almost.
I knew it was going to be long.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it only went 2 hours.
A great conversation tonight, guys. Great question.
Yes, very good questions, guys. I really liked the chat room this time.
Yeah,
I always do, but
let's wrap it up with let's talk about Veriswap one more time, Merlin, and then we'll do
Veriswap, man. Check it out on your iPhone, man. It's literally an app here somewhere. I can't find it, but if I did, it is. Hold on, you got to check it out. See, Veriswap, it's got the little check mark right there. There it is. Oh, there's cards there. Is anybody trading with me right now? No one's trading with me. So, guys, hit me up. You know me. I probably got a lot of wrestling cards on there. You can download it. It's free to download. It takes about 5 minutes. That's all it took me to create an account, to upload the photos for your cards, and it kind of already reads what kind of card it is. It knows. It takes only graded slabs right now. So, BGS, PSA, and what? CSG? Are they doing SGC right now?
They take everything.
They're doing those too. Okay. So those cards, and once you put in the code or whatever, it knows what card it is and knows all about it. And you can trade, because if you got some weirdo, you don't know who they are on eBay or on Instagram or what other social media you use, they're like, dude, I love your cards. You want to trade? You're like, who the hell are you? You say, hey, hit me up on Veriswap. We'll do a trade, because they make sure they're the middleman. They make sure when the trade happens that these are legit cards and they're shipped to the corresponding person and the right card is sent to you. You're not going to expect a Tom Brady rookie RPA and get a G.I. Joe base card.
Hey, don't make fun of G.I. Joe. They just came out. We didn't even talk about this, but they just came out with new G.I. Joe cards for the first time in 30 years, okay?
Woo, Chrome.
We're going to be talking about that next week, guys, with more information, okay? But stop making fun of G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe. I'm wearing my Sergeant
I'm just saying that because of what happened to Logan Paul.
Okay.
See, if Logan Paul had used Veriswap, he wouldn't have had that issue.
Look at this. I just got a new G.I. Joe toy today. Okay. I love G.I. Joe. I'm going to make G.I. Joe cool again, guys. Believe me. I'm going to pump G.I. Joe to the moon. It's going to be cool again. Just watch. So with that, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Next week is episode 99, leading into the national.
99.
One last thing I'll say, just make sure, guys, follow Merlin, guys. We need to get him to 1,000 subscribers.
Dude, I'm over here, Dan.
Follow, share, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. And where's that little end credit scene? We will see you
next Tuesday.